Oh little funny poem bag, how awesome you are, you sit on my desk like a shining star. I made you one day when my brain felt fried, and now you're my buddy, my laughter guide. The day you were born, it was pure chaos. I spilled my coffee, tripped over my socks. I grabbed some old fabric, a needle, and thread, and sewed you together while laughing instead. Your seams are all crooked, your zippers askew, but you're perfect to me, my quirky debut. I stuffed you with rhymes, both silly and strange, jokes about pickles and cows on the range. You hold all my musings, my puns, and my wit, and every time I open you, I laugh just a bit. The first time I used you, I was at the park. A squirrel stole my sandwich, left me in the dark. I reached in your depths, pulled out a line. That squirrel's got my lunch, but I've got my rhyme. I wrote about nuts, both tree-based and snack, and how that squirrel's stash was a hefty stack. The people around me all turned to stare, but I just kept writing, not a single care. Then came the day of the office meeting, where Bob from accounting wouldn't stop repeating. He droned on and on about budgets and charts, while I zoned out and doodled some farting hearts. But then I remembered my funny poem bag, and under the table, I gave it a wag. I pulled out a verse about Bob's boring spiel, and suddenly, the meeting had comedic appeal. Bob talks in circles, round and round he goes. If he were a car, he'd have square-shaped tires, I suppose. The room erupted in laughter and cheer, and Bob even chuckled, though I thought he'd sneer. Next was the time at the family reunion, where Aunt Mildred brought her infamous tuna infusion. The smell was so potent, it cleared out the room, but I braved the stench, avoiding my doom. I reached for my bag, my trusty old friend, and wrote about tuna that never would end. Aunt Mildred's tuna, it's a force to behold. It could wake up the dead, or at least the cold. It's a dish that could fuel a rocket to space, or clear out a room at a record-breaking pace. The family laughed, even Aunt Mildred too, and she promised next year to bring barbecue. Then came the night of the epic blind date, where I showed up early, and he showed up late. He talked about himself for hours on end, while I nodded and smiled, pretending to attend. But then I remembered my funny poem bag, and I pulled out a verse to help me not gag. He's handsome and charming, or so he claims, but his stories are duller than watching paint frames. He's the star of his world, and I'm just a guest, but at least I've got rhymes, and they're the best. I slipped him the poem as I said goodbye, and he laughed so hard, he had tears in his eye. We parted as friends, no hard feelings at all, and I left with my bag, standing proud and tall. Oh little funny poem bag, you're my greatest creation, a source of pure joy and endless elation. You've seen me through chaos, through boredom, through pain, and always remind me to laugh through the rain. You're more than a bag, you're a part of my soul, a treasure chest of humor that makes me feel whole. So here's to you, my quirky old friend, may our laughter and rhymes never, ever end.